The gleaming tiles of Ocean's newest luxury restaurant squeaked under my mop as I cleaned the floor for the third time that evening. My brother Michael's voice echoed through the empty dining room. I want every surface perfect for tomorrow's opening, Sarah. Since you enjoy playing with food so much, you might as well make yourself useful cleaning up after real chefs. I bit back a response, focusing instead on the perfect circular motions of the mop. Let him think I was just as failure of a sister, working as a cleaner to make ends meet. In less than 24 hours, everything would change. Can you believe it? I heard Michael telling his fiancée Amanda as they inspected the designer place settings. 10 years ago, this was just a dream. Now Ocean will be the crown jewel of San Francisco's restaurant scene. And Sarah will be cleaning its toilets, Amanda snickered, adjusting her designer watch. I suppose someone has to. The irony of their conversation wasn't lost on me. 10 years ago, we had shared that dream. Michael and I, two siblings passionate about food and determined to make our mark on the culinary world. But life has a way of revealing people's true colors, usually when money is involved. 10 years earlier. What do you mean you're using all of Dad's inheritance? I stared at Michael across our parents' kitchen table, the same table where we'd spent countless hours experimenting with recipes as kids. Be reasonable, Sarah, he sighed, straightening his newly purchased designer tie. Opening a high-end restaurant in San Francisco takes serious capital. Dad's inheritance is our chance to make it happen. Our chance. That money was meant to be split between us. We were supposed to open the restaurant together. Michael's expression hardened. Look, you're a good cook, but this is business. I have the MBA, the connections, the vision. You're just enthusiastic about food. Tell you what, once Ocean is successful, I'll give you a job. Maybe even let you work up to line cook someday. I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. Keep your job offer. I'll find my own way. With what? He scoffed. Your half of the inheritance wouldn't even cover the kitchen equipment. Face it, Sarah, you need me. I walked out of that house with nothing but my recipes and determination. Michael got his wish. The entire inheritance, our parents' house, and sole ownership of what should have been our shared dream. Present day. Sarah, Michael's sharp voice yanked me back to the present. The VIP bathroom still needs cleaning. The investors will be here in 2 hours for the pre-opening party. I pushed my cleaning cart toward the bathroom, passing a wall of framed restaurant reviews, all celebrating Michael's innovative vision and culinary genius. If they only knew that every signature dish on Ocean's menu had originated in our parents' kitchen, created by the sister he now had cleaning toilets. But Michael had forgotten 3 important things about me. First, while he was busy buying designer suits and schmoozing with investors, I'd spent the last 10 years studying everything about the restaurant industry, from supply chains to sustainable farming. Second, his original recipes weren't the only ones I created in that old kitchen. And third, most importantly, he hadn't bothered to read this month's Forbes magazine, which was about to cause quite a stir at his opening party. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena, my business partner. Everything ready for tonight? Almost, I replied. Michael has no idea you're one of his VIP investors. Elena, the CEO of Verde Ventures, had been instrumental in turning my small farm-to-table concept into a revolutionary restaurant empire. While Michael had been building one luxury restaurant, I'd been quietly creating a sustainable food distribution network that now supplied half of California's top restaurants. The only catch? I'd done it all under my mother's maiden name. As far as the culinary world knew, Sarah Chen was the mysterious founder of Terra Restaurants and Farm Fresh Networks. Not Sarah Anderson, Michael's failure of a sister. Another text from Elena. Ford's article is already online. Your brother's investors should be seeing it any minute. I smiled, thinking of the magazine's cover story. The future of food. How Sarah Chen built a billion-dollar sustainable restaurant empire. The article detailed how my company had revolutionized farm-to-table dining while keeping prices accessible to average families. The complete opposite of Michael's overpriced, pretentious concept. Sarah, Michael's voice again. Stop daydreaming and get changed. The guests will be arriving soon. I need you to serve drinks. I changed from my cleaner's uniform into the simple black dress required for servers, watching through the kitchen window as San Francisco's elite began arriving. Michael worked the room like a conductor. proudly showing off his imported marble floors and crystal chandeliers. The menu features my own original creations, I heard him tell a group of impressed investors. Family recipes, you might say. Family recipes indeed. I checked my watch. Almost time. Elena would be arriving with the other investors soon, and with her, the truth about those family recipes, about the real culinary genius in the Anderson family, about the sister Michael had written off as nothing but a dreamer. The door chimed as another group of investors entered. I straightened my server's apron, picked up a tray of champagne, and prepared to watch 10 years of arrogance come crashing down. The champagne bubbles matched the nervous energy in my stomach as I circulated through Ocean's pre-opening party. Michael was in his element, holding court near the demonstration kitchen where his executive chef was preparing his signature dish. My grandmother's deconstructed bouillabaisse that had won me my first cooking competition at 16. The secret, Michael was telling an impressed group of investors, is in the saffron rouille, a family recipe passed down through generations. I bit back a smile, remembering the dozens of attempts it had taken me to perfect that sauce in our parents' kitchen while Michael was away at business school. He dismissed it as too traditional back then. Now it was his claim to fame. Fascinating. A familiar voice cut through the crowd. I'd love to hear more about your family's culinary heritage. Elena Chen had arrived. Michael's face lit up as he recognized one of San Francisco's most prominent restaurant investors. Ms. Chen, we're honored to have you here. I had no idea you were interested in Ocean. Oh, I'm very interested in family restaurants, Elena smiled, accepting a champagne glass from my tray without even glancing at me. Especially ones with, shall we say, interesting interpretations of family recipes. Before Michael could respond, a murmur rippled through the crowd. Phones were being pulled out, screens lighting up with notifications. The Forbes article had just gone live. Oh my God, I heard Amanda gasp from nearby. Look at this. The future of food. How Sarah Chen built a billion-dollar sustainable restaurant empire. Michael frowned. Chen, any relation? He asked Elena. Actually, Elena's smile turned razor-sharp. Sarah Chen is my business partner. She should be here any minute. In fact, she turned to me. Isn't that right, Sarah? The champagne tray trembled slightly in my hands as every head turned toward me. Michael's face went from confused to shocked to pale in the span of seconds. Sarah, he whispered. What is this? I set down the tray carefully. Hello, brother. Surprised to see your cleaner on the cover of Forbes. The room erupted in whispers. Michael grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the kitchen. What kind of game are you playing? No game, I said calmly, removing his hand. While you were busy stealing our parents' inheritance and my recipes, I was building something real. Something sustainable. Your recipes? He scoffed, but there was fear in his eyes. I created everything on Ocean's menu. Did you? Elena had followed us, foam in hand. Then you won't mind explaining this? She played a video footage from our parents' home movies, a teenage me in the kitchen, explaining my technique for the very bouillabaisse sauce Michael had been bragging about minutes earlier. The date stamp was clear, 15 years ago. That's nothing, Michael started, but Elena wasn't finished. We have dozens of these videos, Michael. Every signature dish on your menu created by Sarah years before you claimed them as your own. Not to mention the journal where you wrote down her recipes while she was busy building terror restaurants. Michael's face had turned an interesting shade of purple. You can't prove. Actually, I interrupted, we can. You see, when you were busy taking credit for my work, I was documenting everything. Every recipe, every technique, every family story behind them. That's what made Terra Restaurant successful, authenticity. The kitchen doors burst open as Amanda rushed in, her designer dress wrinkled in panic. Michael, everyone's leaving. The investors. They're all talking about some farm-to-table empire and stolen recipes. I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. Your sister, Elena explained coolly, has revolutionized the restaurant industry. Terra Restaurant sources directly from local farms, pays living wages, and makes high-quality food accessible to everyone. While Ocean, she gestured around the opulent dining room, well, let's just say overpriced stolen recipes aren't very innovative. I can explain, Michael started, but the damage was done. Through the kitchen windows, we could see his investors heading for the exits, phones pressed to their ears. Don't bother, I said quietly. The truth was always going to come out, Michael. I just wanted to make sure I was ready when it did. Ready for what? He demanded. To buy Ocean, Elena answered. Terra Restaurants is expanding, and this location would be perfect after some remodeling. We're thinking of making it our flagship farm-to-table fine dining concept. Michael's legs gave out, and he sank onto a nearby prep station. You planned this? All of it. The cleaning job, the serving. I wanted to see if you changed, I admitted. If any part of my brother, the one who used to share my dreams of making good food accessible to everyone, was still in there. But you're still the same Michael who stole our inheritance and my recipes. What do you want? He whispered. Originally, revenge, but now? I looked around the kitchen, remembering our childhood dreams. Now I want to turn this place into something meaningful. Something that would have made Mom and Dad proud. The next few hours were a blur of lawyers, reporters, and shell-shocked staff members learning their boss's restaurant was about to undergo a major transformation. By midnight, Michael's dream of being San Francisco's next celebrity chef had evaporated. 1 month later, Ocean's pretentious decor had been replaced with warm, sustainable materials. The overpriced menu was gone, replaced by accessible farm-to-table cuisine that honored our family's real culinary heritage. Michael had sold under threat of a lawsuit, taking Amanda and his bruised ego to Miami. I stood in the renovated kitchen, watching the staff prepare for our opening night. The wall that once held Michael's stolen accolades now showcased photos of our local farming partners and the real stories behind our family recipes. Ready? Elena asked, joining me at the pass. I picked up a familiar bowl, my grandmother's bouillabaisse, presented simply but perfectly. You know what the real secret ingredient was? I asked. The saffron rouille. Love, I smiled. Not for fame or money, but for the joy of feeding people well. As I write this from my office above the restaurant at was almost Ocean, I can hear the happy chatter of our first customers discovering what real family recipes taste like. Sometimes the best revenge isn't in destroying what others have built, but in transforming it into something truly meaningful.